close your eyes for a moment. Think about the first movie that made you cry. The first hero you wanted to become. The first villain that gave you nightmares. The first story that made you believe, really believe, that good could triumph over evil. There is a very high probability that story belonged to Disney. Disney is not just a childhood memory. It is not just a theme park. It is not just a streaming service. It is not even just a media company. In 2026, Disney has evolved, quietly, systematically, and with surgical precision, into something the world has never seen before, a global entertainment hegemony. From the moment you wake up and scroll through content on your phone, to the moment your child falls asleep watching a Marvel hero save the universe, you are, at almost every point in your day, consuming something that Disney owns, whether you know it or not. And most people do not know it, but behind the smiling Mickey Mouse, behind the fairy tales and the singing princesses, behind the happiest place on earth, there is a corporate war machine that has spent decades executing a strategy so aggressive, so calculated, and so complete that no government, no competitor, and no creator has been able to fully stop it. They bought out their competition. They lobbied for laws that rewrote history. They built a system of aggressive data harvesting, so sophisticated that they can predict exactly what you want to watch, before you even know you want to watch it. Today, we decode the empire blueprint of the House of Mouse. We are going inside the monopoly strategy. We are exposing the vault psychology. We are following the money from a $4 billion acquisition to a $200 billion empire. And we are asking the question that nobody in Hollywood is brave enough to ask out loud. How does one company, secretly, legally, and brilliantly, come to control the world's imagination? This is the Disney illusion, and it is much, much bigger than you think. To understand the true scale of Disney's power in 2026, you have to understand one foundational concept: their M&A strategy, their mergers and acquisitions playbook. Because Disney did not build a monopoly by making better movies. They built it by buying the companies that were already making the movies you loved. In 2006, Disney acquired Pixar for $7.4 billion, the studio behind Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. Gone. Absorbed. Owned. In 2009, Disney acquired Marvel Entertainment for $4 billion. The world laughed. Wall Street analysts called it overpriced. Bloggers wrote think pieces about why superhero fatigue would kill the deal. But Disney wasn't buying movies. They were buying something far more valuable. They were buying intellectual property. They were buying the hero archetypes of the 21st century. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Panther, Spider-Man. Characters so deeply embedded in the cultural DNA of an entire generation that loving them was not a preference, it was an identity. The result: the Marvel Cinematic Universe has generated over $30 billion at the global box office alone. That original $4 billion investment returned more than 700%, and that's before merchandise, theme parks, Disney Plus, and licensing. Then came 2012. Disney acquired Lucasfilm, the home of Star Wars, for another $4 billion. Once again, the world questioned it. And once again, Disney was not thinking in quarters. They were thinking in decades. Star Wars alone has generated over $65 billion in merchandise sales since 1977. Disney did not buy a film franchise. They bought a religion. And then, the move that changed everything. In 2019, Disney completed its $71.3 billion acquisition of 21st Century Fox. With one transaction, they absorbed the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Avatar, National Geographic, and a controlling stake in Hulu. Let me put that into perspective. In the attention economy of 2026, where every minute of human attention is a monetizable asset. Disney now controls more premium content IP than any single entity in the history of human communication. They do not just compete in the entertainment market. In large parts of it, they are the market. Economists call this vertical integration. Disney owns the studios that make the content. They own the streaming platforms that distribute it. They own the theme parks that monetize it physically. They own the merchandise supply chains that turn fictional characters into physical revenue. And they own the data infrastructure that tells them exactly how to do all of it more efficiently next quarter. If you have paid for a movie ticket, a Disney Plus subscription, a Marvel action figure, or a hotel room in Orlando in the last decade, you have paid the Disney tax. And you paid it willingly, because they made you love the product before you ever understood the system. In the world of content monopoly and franchise economics, that is the masterclass. And nobody, not Netflix, not Amazon, not Apple, has come close to replicating it. But here is where the Disney story moves beyond entertainment, beyond Hollywood, beyond even traditional corporate strategy. Because the real power of Disney in 2026 is not in the movies. It is not in the theme parks. It is not even in the intellectual property. The real power is in the algorithm. When Disney launched Disney Plus in 2019, most analysts saw it as a streaming competitor, another player in the streaming wars trying to challenge Netflix for subscribers. But that analysis missed the deeper strategy entirely. Disney was not entering the streaming market. Disney was building a data infrastructure, a surveillance system for human emotion, disguised as a subscription service. Disney Plus currently serves over 150 million subscribers globally. Every single one of those subscribers generates continuous behavioral data. Every pause, every rewind, every skip, every late-night rewatch of a Pixar film, every moment a child stops engaging, and every moment they lean in closer. This is what technologists call a data goldmine, and Disney is sitting on one of the most valuable deposits ever accumulated in the history of consumer entertainment. They know which character made you cry during the first 22 minutes of Up. They know which scene in Black Panther caused the biggest social media spike. They know which nostalgic callback in a new Star Wars series drove the highest rewatch rate among 35 to 44-year-old male subscribers in the American Midwest. And they use all of that data, every single data point, to engineer your next emotional experience before you even know you want it. This is predictive consumer analytics applied to storytelling. It is algorithmic storytelling, where the creative decisions made in a writer's room in Burbank, California are increasingly informed by behavioral datasets collected from 150 million living rooms around the world. Think about what that means for culture. For the first time in human history, a single corporation has the data infrastructure to predict, with statistical confidence, which emotional buttons to press at what point in a narrative to maximize the likelihood that you will buy a ticket, purchase merchandise, renew your subscription, and tell every person you know that this is the best thing you've ever seen. This is not creative intuition. This is data harvesting converted into emotional manipulation at industrial scale. And the closed-loop ecosystem they have built around this data is extraordinary. The movie creates an emotional connection. The Disney Plus algorithm reinforces that connection with personalized recommendations. The theme park converts that connection into a physical, premium-priced experience. The merchandise extends that connection into your home. And the next movie, already informed by data from every previous touchpoint, deepens the connection further. Your emotions are the raw material. Their profits are the final product. In the 2026 creator economy, where independent filmmakers, YouTubers, and streaming platforms compete for the same audience attention, no independent creator, and almost no competitor, has access to a feedback loop this powerful. This is platform dominance converted into creative advantage. And it is a moat so deep that most competitors have stopped trying to cross it. How has Disney maintained dominance for over a century? How has a single brand survived the Great Depression, multiple wars, leadership crises, technological revolutions, and the rise of the internet, and come out stronger every single time? Part of the answer is creative brilliance. Part of it is financial discipline. But a significant underreported part of the answer is this: they changed the law. In the world of corporate lobbying, few examples are as bold, as well documented, or as consequential as what legal scholars now call the Mickey Mouse Protection Act. Here is the backstory. Under United States copyright law, creative works eventually enter the public domain, meaning anyone can use, adapt, or build upon them freely. The original copyright term was 28 years, with the possibility of a 28-year renewal. Under those original terms, the earliest Mickey Mouse cartoons, Steamboat Willie, released in 1928, should have entered the public domain decades ago. But in 1998, just as Steamboat Willie was approaching its expiration date, the United States Congress passed the Sony Bono Copyright Term Extension Act, extending copyright protection by 20 years. Critics immediately, and accurately, named it the Mickey Mouse Protection Act, because Disney's aggressive lobbying was widely credited as the primary force behind its passage. And it worked. The earliest Mickey Mouse animation remained under Disney's exclusive control for another 2 decades. Now, in 2026, this battle has entered a new and far more consequential arena. Because now the fight is not just about a 1928 cartoon. The fight is about AI-generated content, about digital characters, about whether the intellectual property framework built for the analog world of the 20th century will govern the synthetic media landscape of the 21st. Disney is currently one of the most active corporate voices in Washington on AI legislation. They are lobbying to ensure that their digital characters, AI-rendered versions of Marvel heroes, Star Wars figures, and classic animated icons, remain their exclusive property indefinitely. Not for 70 years after the death of the creator. Indefinitely. They are not just trying to own the stories. They are trying to own the archetypes themselves, forever. And this is where the concept of copyright hegemony becomes something deeper than a legal debate. When one corporation controls the cultural commons, the shared myths, the universal heroes, the archetypal stories that human beings use to understand themselves and each other, they control something more powerful than money. They control meaning. By preventing those stories from ever entering the public domain, Disney ensures that no independent filmmaker, no small studio, no emerging creator in Lagos or Lahore or Los Angeles can ever freely build on the foundations that those stories represent without paying the Disney tax. This is creator economy suppression on a civilizational scale. It is copyright warfare extended indefinitely into the future. And in 2026, as generative AI makes it easier than ever to create convincing synthetic versions of beloved characters, Disney's legal and lobbying apparatus is working around the clock to ensure that those synthetic characters are treated under law as Disney's property, not the public's inheritance. The question is not whether Disney has the right to protect its IP. The question is whether any single corporation should have the power to own permanently the cultural myths of an entire civilization. History will have its own answer to that question. But for now, in 2026, the law, shaped in part by Disney's lobbying machine, says yes. So, we have followed the money. We have mapped the acquisitions. We have traced the data flows. We have read the lobbying reports and the legal filings. We have stood at the intersection of emotional branding, corporate war machine strategy, and algorithmic precision. And now we must answer the question we started with. Is Disney a magical kingdom, or a corporate overlord? The honest answer, the uncomfortable answer, the answer that the data forces us to accept, is that Disney is both, simultaneously, inseparably, and by deliberate design. They have mastered emotional branding so completely, so thoroughly, at such deep levels of human psychology, that billions of people across the world do not just consume Disney content. They identify with it. They defend it. They pass it to their children as cultural inheritance. They spend money on it not because they feel manipulated, but because it genuinely makes them feel something. And that is the most sophisticated form of corporate war machine strategy ever executed. Not coercion, not deception, but the deliberate engineering of love. In 2026, Disney's total enterprise value sits above $200 billion. Their theme parks, which they call experiential IP monetization, are operating at record attendance figures. Disney Plus continues to expand into new global markets. Their AI content pipeline is already generating synthetic media that is indistinguishable from human-produced animation, and their lobbying apparatus is actively shaping the legal framework that will govern digital IP for the next 50 years. We are not just watching Disney movies anymore. We are living inside a Disney-designed world. The stories we tell our children, the heroes we celebrate, the villains we fear, the mythologies we use to explain justice, courage, sacrifice, and love, a significant portion of all of them now flow through a single company's content pipeline, shaped by a single company's algorithm, licensed under a single company's copyright, and monetized through a single company's ecosystem. That is not nostalgia. That is not entertainment. That is global entertainment hegemony, the most complete form of cultural market control ever achieved by a private corporation in the history of human civilization. Now, what does that mean for you? For the independent creator trying to build an audience in the 2026 creator economy? For the entrepreneur watching this and thinking about brand loyalty and IP strategy and community building? For the investor trying to understand where platform dominance leads over the next decade? It means this: the most durable competitive advantages in the modern economy are not built on products. They are not built on technology. They are not even built on data, though data accelerates everything. The most durable competitive advantages are built on identity, on the stories people tell about themselves, on the emotional associations so deep that they survive rational analysis, survive price increases, survive controversy, and survive scandal. Disney built that over 100 years, acquisition by acquisition, algorithm by algorithm, lobby by lobby, story by story. The entrepreneurs who study this blueprint, not to replicate it but to understand it, will be the ones who build the next generation of durable brands. Because the lesson of Disney is not buy everything. The lesson of Disney is own the story, own the emotion, own the identity. Because the company that owns the story owns the audience, and the company that owns the audience in the attention economy of 2026 owns the future. The question is not whether you are okay with Mickey holding the keys to your imagination. The question is, what story are you building, and who will own it? That is the Empire Blueprint, and this was the Disney Illusion. If this deep dive changed the way you see the world's greatest business empires, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because every week we go inside a new empire and decode the strategy behind the story. I'm your narrator. This is Empire Blueprint. Next week, we go inside the company that turned the act of searching for information into the most profitable advertising machine in human history. See you in the next case study.